need to stop the JJ family as soon as possible. While they're here, grab them quickly. Catch them and don't let them escape.
What? I can't understand why you want to catch us.
No, we just want to stop you from passing the tests. Oh, I can't figure out where they've gone. They were literally here just now. Come on, quickly, be careful and look for them. And not in any case, they are now somewhere near us. We just probably don't see them. Yep. Let's look from that side, and I'll look here. They couldn't have run far anyway. They're somewhere here.
Oh, we miraculously managed to get away from them. But this is all due to the fact that the chicken dropped some kind of special potion on us, which apparently reduced us a lot, and reduced us so that we just can't be found. On the contrary, you need to look very closely, and only then will you notice. Oh, I also noticed a very cool point. We can change our height to the one we want. In fact, it's still very cool, and I'm glad that it's working out that way now.
I still want to suggest that while we have the opportunity, we carefully walk to the end and see what's in that chest. And even more so, we must pass this test anyway. So let's go there soon.
Be careful that he doesn't notice us.
I hear strange footsteps here.
Huh? It seems to me that he began to suspect that you and I have become very small, and he hears our small footsteps and the way we move. So I will ask you not to move and not worry too much. If we stand still, we will be able to safely pass through anyway because he will not notice us.
I'm worried. He spotted us.
Woohoo!
Uh-oh.
You thought I couldn't find you. But no, your small stature still does not give you such an advantage.
I'm going to get through the doll and try to scare him away from here with it.
Oh, I completely forgot that I can transform into any size I want. So I think what I urgently need now is to become big so that he gets scared and definitely gets behind us. Oh! Didn't expect to see me so big?
I didn't think that you could become so big. Anyway, how did you do it?
Oops.
Huh? I can't figure out what's going on with my doll, why it's moving so strangely.
Because now I'm running it, I'm out of here.
Oh, come on, get out of here so they don't see you here anymore. And you're actually doing a really great job for thinking of getting into this doll and just using it to scare it away. I think you and I are doing great at this stage, and it's time for us to move on. So let's check what's in the chest as soon as possible. Oh, because to be honest, I'm very interested in what's in that chest. Most likely there's everything we'll need in the trials. So let's go take a look, and then we'll go to the waiting room and see what happens next.
Yes, I agree with you. And I am also quite confident that there are exactly the items that we will need in the next challenges. And by the way, I'm more interested in whether they'll be chasing us again. It just seems to me that they're waiting for us somewhere again.
Oh, well look, there really are all the necessary tools that we need, and I took a sword, a pickaxe, and a chisel from them. In fact, a chisel is a very cool thing, especially if you take the moment that you and I can shrink with it. We can easily break small blocks and pass through whole walls, and we will be completely invisible, but behind us there will be only a small hole that everyone will not notice the first time. Oh, I'll keep all these tools.
Yes, I agree with you. Let them lie with you, but I still suggest we go ahead and see what awaits us next. Or rather, what kind of trials.
Come on in first and I'll follow you right away. Oh. Uh-oh.
Woohoo! Well, where are you going? Now we will command you and tell you which trials you will go to and which you will not.
What? I won't obey your orders or do anything you tell me to do because it's not fair. And why did you decide to do that anyway?
You better not argue with me and not try to get out of this situation somehow, because in fact, everything has already been decided for you. And even more so, there are more of us. That's why I'm telling you now that you need to go to the cookie trial, where you will carve the figures that I will personally give you.
Okay, we'll try to pass this test.
Woohoo! I thought so, and decided that there would be no banal figures. But on the contrary, I came up with my own figure that you will cut out, and moreover, you have already agreed. So I wish you only good luck.
What? We understand you well. Now we will try to cut them out.
Just look at how heavy his figures are. I don't think we'll pass this test.
So you go distract him for now, and I'll do it myself.
Okay, I'll try to distract him.
Oh, well, if he decided to change the rules, then I can do it. I'm just going to turn into a very small one now, and it's going to be pretty easier for me to carve all these figures. Oops. In fact, I'm very surprised, and I have a lot of questions. Why did he decide to change the rules and add a new figure? Ho-ho! I'm ready to cut everything out now. Because at the moment, I've turned into the smallest size I can turn into, and with it, I'll definitely be able to easily carve all these figures that he gave us. By the way, you can also notice that he gave my wife and me literally identical figures, so in principle, it will be quite easy for me to cut them out. Ho-ho! It's a good thing he didn't notice that I broke my liver a little bit, but it's okay. I fixed it back, and it doesn't even seem to be noticeable. And all because I asked my wife to take it and just distract him. It will help me to cut everything out so that he doesn't guess. But as a last resort, if he's guessing, then we'll figure something out. So thanks a lot to my wife for distracting him very well right now. Huh? Well, I'm already doing what I'm slowly carving this figure into the cookies that he gave us. By the way, I also want to note the moment that he gave us not just some simple triangle because it looks more like him, but on the contrary with some patterns inside, which would most likely be quite very difficult to carve if I were in normal height. Because here they are very what? They're weird, and just like that, we would definitely have been able to carve them ourselves. Ho-ho! Now I've already started on the second cookie. Huh? Most likely, I also have a small assumption. I told you before about how this figure itself looks, that it doesn't look like a triangle. And most likely, Mikey wants to set us up somehow and do everything so that we can't pass all these tests, of course. Because otherwise, others will say so, I don't see any explanations, and yet I can't figure out why he did it all. That's exactly why he wanted to interfere with us in the last game. And all so that we would be eliminated, and he would be left alone with his family. Well, I finished cutting out all the figures, so I need to turn back as soon as possible. Woohoo!
Oh, you're already here. I see you did it pretty quickly because very little time has passed.
Yes, I did it perfectly, all the figures are carved, and it turns out we passed this test. What are you nervous about? Ho-ho!
I think it's unfair that you came to this test, because you shouldn't have shrunk to a small size and just try to cut cookies with it. That's why I'm canceling your trials and you're out.
I'm so tired of you. I think you'd better fly and don't bother us anymore.
That's what I understand. You laughed at him. It was very cool, but now, unfortunately, he will be very upset and will most likely want to harass us. That's why I suggest you sneak in somewhere as soon as possible and try to destroy everything here. Huh?
I suggest that you and I go to the next test and see what's in there. But of course, first we need to shrink down so that we won't be noticed.
Of course I agree with you. So let's do it all as soon as possible in order to destroy everything here. Ho-ho!
Then you and I will not hesitate and rather ran to the test with glass.
Woohoo! Only when you come out will you look as carefully as possible so that the guard does not notice you. Oops.
Great, he can't see us and that's just great, so let's run to the test.
Ho-ho! Yes, it's very cool, so we rather ran to it before we were noticed. I wonder which plates are not fake. In fact, I don't have any options yet, and I need to ask my wife what she thinks because I don't have any map, no clues, that is, I don't have anything at all that I can use to find out if it's a fake stove or a real one. Huh?
You know, to be honest, I have a little hunch that if you and I are small, then in any case, not a single stove will break. So I suggest you check it out. Let's try to push me in there now, and I've just checked everything. But then we'll still need to figure out how to jump because we can't do it ourselves because we're small.
Ho-ho! Look, it's not broken under you, but let's try the one next to it to make sure that when we're little, they don't break.
Yes, well, now I'll try to jump up and check it just the same.
I hope you don't fall. Ho-ho!
Yes, indeed, when you and I are small and they just don't break so we can safely walk through, there is only one problem left. Namely, that we cannot jump ourselves.
We need to come up with something faster!
Look at the feathers here. They're just going to play the role of a glider for us. Therefore, with the help of them, we can try to jump down to each plate.
Ho-ho! And yes, indeed, with the help of these feathers, we can very easily get there. We just need to jump high, and then it will be very easy to jump to the next plate. Huh? Here's just one pen for you, because I have a second one, and with their help, let's try to get through it all as soon as possible, because they're already looking for us there anyway, and they can find us.
Well, then let's go through this as soon as possible. And just the same, I'm very interested in what's behind that and beyond the doors. Maybe we'll find something interesting there that will help us make our plan that we wanted.
Ho-ho! Well, now we can check and see what's there, so let's do it as soon as possible in case there's something interesting and useful there that we can use. Go very carefully because I can assume they could be anywhere and could catch us.
Look, I have a little idea. But let's try to steal the guards' uniforms and use them to implement our plan to destroy these games.
Then I'll try to steal this form. Just the same, I noticed that there is some kind of small hole down here. And just the same, I have a special depth with which I can expand it a little and just get into the laboratory where the other guards are now, and most likely their doctor who is treating them. Since I'm small, they won't even notice me. And with this, I'll just steal their roots. And most likely, I think they didn't sleep there. On the contrary, think they lost me somewhere. Therefore, now I'm just doing what I'm slowly starting to dig out this hole with the help of a small chisel so that it can be through, so to speak, and I can calmly get into the office we were talking about. And in general, in principle, I rather like the idea of my wife. He will just think that we are really his guards, most likely, will give us some tasks, and just with this, we will be able to catch him and just make sure that these games are closed. Oh, great, I got to the office. Although it can be said that this does not look like any kind of office. But on the contrary, you are most likely some kind of laboratory or medical center because I am watching a doctor here who helps the guards. Most likely, either they are ill or something has happened, but it does not matter. The most important thing is that I need to steal the uniform from here as soon as possible. Oh, great! I stole the uniform. Now it's time to run away as fast as possible so that they don't notice me. And just the same, my wife and I will be able to change into a guard's uniform.
Great. Now we can definitely dress up as guards and walk around in peace. And just with this, I think we can frame Mikey.
So let's go observe the situation for now, and I'll check all the rooms that are here. Oops, I need to check all the chests urgently to make sure because it seems to me that there is something here that will help us in the future. And this is exactly what we will need to take anyway. Oh, great! I managed to find quite a lot of dynamite here, which in any case will be useful to us. But I've already restrained myself here, and I thought I'd rather run to my wife. No wonder I came to this warehouse. Oh!
Look, they're already standing there.
Hey, guards, come here now. I have a special assignment for you.
So look, I'm warning you in advance. Don't worry and don't be afraid. They think we're guards anyway, so they won't burn us down in any way. And most importantly, agree to everything he says to make it more plausible that we're guards.
Yep. So here you are. I have a very good task for you, which is that you have to catch JJ and his whole family, because we're looking for him now, and we can't figure out where he is. Huh? But of course I understand that you may have a question about how you will defend yourself, so I will give you a gun and you can open fire on them at any time.
Yes, we understand you well. As soon as we notice them, we will immediately either bring them to you or start shooting at them. Ho-ho! I told you they wouldn't recognize us.
And what are you suggesting we do next now? I understand that we have weapons and it's very cool, but we need to come up with some other plan.
I have dynamite that I'm going to put under them now, but I'm not going to blow it up. I'm going to do it a little differently. The most important thing is to be around and don't get in the way too much. You'll figure out what to do. Oops. I'll tell you what I have in mind. Just the same, my plan is that I now run up to them and not under all of them, but purely under his wife, dig a hole, and just lay dynamite there. But I will not blow it up right away, but on the contrary, I will do it, so to speak, in a cunning way. On the contrary, I will force the ordinary participants to start a riot. After that, we will help accordingly and just beat off this drill, and they will think that everything is fine, and just at this moment, I detonate dynamite. And then I think he'll scare us and probably just run away from us. Ho-ho! Great, I planted dynamite, but it so happened that I also managed to plant it under Mickey's. Now I rather turn into a big one and dress up as a security guard and do everything I said. Woohoo! Go distract him for now. In the meantime, I'll go persuade the participants to attack them sharply. So great, they didn't seem to notice me. Ho-ho! Hey members, I suggest you attack them because I'm sure you'd rather leave this place. I'm just going to help you with this.
Guards, calm everyone down as soon as possible. I see they don't want to calm down at all, so open fire on them calmly.
Ho-ho!
Well done. I am very grateful to you for saving me. But to be honest, the topic that we are looking for JJ and his whole family is still relevant. Maybe you have seen him somewhere and want to tell us something.
We don't have any information yet, but we can show you a very interesting trick. Get on the ground faster. Ho-ho! Great, we got rid of one.
I can't understand. You're my guards. What did you do? Why did you blow up my wife?
Oh, all this time it really means that we are your guards. But just the same, no, on the contrary, we did everything to end all these games and you stopped bullying everyone.
Huh? Well, you know that you're doing all this for nothing.
No, we're doing everything right. Because you're a villain and you've been bothering us, but now we'll do everything so that you don't bother anyone. So no one needs you here anymore and we can say goodbye.
Now he's definitely not gonna bother anyone, so I suggest you put a lot of dynamite here and blow it up in the end so that these games will never be held here again and there's nothing left of this place. Woohoo!
Yes, I agree with you. I also don't want others to go through this test here because they are literally meaningless and it's time to close it. And even more so because the most important thing is that we are unharmed. And we managed to do it all.
Ho-ho! I'm JJ, and today my family and I were joking about Mikey and his family with something that could shrink. And also, he was defeated in the end. That's how our wonderful adventure ended.